The Georgia Bulldogs dominated the Auburn Tigers over the weekend, 42-10, and there were plenty of 5 stars in attendance to watch the game. Of course, that's what this video is all about, and be breaking down which prospects were in attendance, which ones we got our eyes on before the game. Usually about an hour before the game starts, recruits come down onto the field, they watch warm-ups, and the media gets a quick look at who's in town, who's talking with who, where the coaching staff is, what recruits they're talking to. So we get an idea of which kids are the top priority that are on campus that weekend. So just want to talk about that real quick. We did get some pictures of some of the recruits down on the field. And the first guy that we noticed was A.J. Harris, 5-star cornerback. One of the top cornerback prospects in the country out of Phoenix City, Alabama, basically a Columbus native. He's on board. He's rocking the Deion Sanders jersey with the Georgia hat on. He was the first guy we saw down there. He was watching the practices, the warm-ups intently, going through some just mental reps himself, pretending he was out there on the field. Shortly after, we saw him talking to 4-star defensive lineman Jordan Hall, who we got some pictures of, Samuel Mpemba, a 5-star edge defender from IMG Academy, Gabriel Harris, a 4-star edge commit, also out of IMG Academy through Valdosta. He was there. CJ Allen, 4-star linebacker commitment, was there. So that was really the core group that we saw coming down onto the field probably 15-20 minutes before the rest of the recruits came down. So they were on the field early, and they had looked like they were best friends and have been for a long time now. Sam Mpemba, a guy who has now seen Georgia play 3 times in person, is a 5-star. He's one of the top uncommitted defenders on Georgia's list right now on the recruiting board. And if you didn't know who he was, you would have thought that he was a commitment himself. Had acted like he, was just at home. He was smiling, hanging out with all of the commitments, and it felt like he was already on board. Maybe he is silently, but he's a guy that we have a close eye on. And I've said for weeks now, I think that he leads. I think Georgia leads for him, I should say. So definitely a big time prospect to know. Jordan Hall was spending a lot of time with Coach Trey Scott, the defensive line coach, having a good old time. He had a smile on the entire trip. I think Georgia has a comfortable lead for him as well. I think that's just going to come down to Georgia, Florida State, Florida, South Carolina. I think Georgia is the clear leader for Jordan Hall right now, who I think could make a decision possibly soon. I was thinking probably after the season, maybe in December, but it would not surprise me at all if Jordan Hall decided to jump on board sooner than later. If he did make a decision anytime soon, I would be shocked if it was not Georgia. Tyler Williams, 4-star wide receiver commitment, who committed to Georgia over Clemson, Florida, a few other schools back in late September. He was next to Brian McClendon the entire time we were out there watching. He's a big dude. He is long. He's got an athletic-looking frame. He's got big hands. I mean, this guy looks like he could turn into an impact receiver at the SEC level, and it's easy to see why Georgia was after him so hard. He is a big deal. He looks the part, and I think we got a couple of good shots of him. So you should be seeing a lot of pictures pop up. Jordan Hall is the guy with the neon green shades on. A.J. Harris has the Deion Sanders jersey on. Samuel Mpemba has the red shirt on. Taller, long defensive end type. And then Tyler Williams is the one that you see with Brian McClendon. So those were the key guys. Also, Roderick Robinson was in town. We did not see him pregame. Was hoping to get a picture of him. We were not able to get one before I had to head up to the press box. He obviously had a good time, committed to Georgia on Monday. Basically, as soon as he got back to California, he flipped his decision from UCLA to Georgia. Of course, if you're on Dog Post, you knew all about that. Damon Wilson, another guy who I was told was hanging out with A.J. Harris a good bit on the sidelines in town. He's definitely got to know. Of course, we've got some folks doing some yard work outside of my house. I forgot they do that at Tuesday at 11 a.m. So if you're hearing that, I apologize. I'll try to get that noise out. But if I can't, thanks for sticking with me. Just really, really bad timing there. So that stinks. But things are going really, really well for the Georgia Bulldogs on the recruiting trail. Lots of 2024 prospects in town, lots of 2025 prospects in town. Some of the best sophomores in the state of Georgia spoke with me, gave me some great quotes. There's a story on Dog Post right now about that. AJ Harris gave me some quotes. I can read those for you right now. He said, "My favorite part of the visit was spending time with all my future teammates and brothers. I enjoyed getting to bond with them and actually talk to them in person. I wasn't really recruiting everyone, just trying to enjoy the people that are already committed to the program." He was spending a lot of time with Samuel Mpemba. So makes it kind of seem like Sam is halfway on board already. He said it was a great game, great atmosphere. Me and my family enjoyed ourselves. He had multiple current defensive backs come over to him and speak with him quickly, very shortly before doing their drill work. So AJ Harris feels like a guy who's kind of already on the team. He's friends with the current players, and he's doing his best to bring other guys on board. So again, there's plenty of other recruiting notes, behind the scenes, inside scoop over on Dog Post, but in general, I think Georgia should be able to land a top 5 class, possibly a top 3 class, if they continue to get these guys like Sam Mpemba, maybe Damon Wilson, who I think I mentioned his name earlier. He had a good time from what we were told. Was not able to speak with him for any quotes. I still think Georgia has a real fight on their hands, but with Alabama and Ohio State, maybe a couple others. Do they only have room for one edge defender between Damon Wilson and Samuel Mpemba? That's a good question. I think the staff would love to bring both on board. Right now, I just think one will end up signing with Georgia. Right now, my guess would be Samuel Mpemba, who basically acted like he was on the commit list pregame on the field when we were watching him spend time with all of those other commitments. So lots of prospects in attendance. Big story on Dog Post with some more inside scoops, so make sure you check that out. And I'm going to end this video before the more yard work continues to go. Sorry about that. Thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I will see you over on Dog Post.